Today's video is brought to you by ablmerch.com. Grab your I Survived This Pandemic hats, t-shirts, stickers, mugs, and more through the link in the description box below. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about AOC using her grandma as a political prop. Now, I got to back up a little bit here to explain to you what's going on. Now, AOC is Puerto Rican, right? She grew up in New York City. I don't think she was born on the island. I think she was born in New York. But anyway, she's Puerto Rican, and her grandma still lives on the island. Now, they had Hurricane Maria that devastated large parts of the island. They were without power and water for weeks, if not months. And I think some parts of the island are still without power and water. It was really devastating. But what was worse was the disaster response. Now, some are trying to blame Trump for the response, talking about, oh, he didn't release the aid and he was trying to tell them, you need to, stop being lazy, get off your hind parts and do something. But the reality is Trump sent a bunch of aid, but the way that the aid was distributed or not distributed is the actual problem. It's not what Trump did or didn't do. It's what those on the island did or didn't do. Plenty of aid was just found on the island rotting. Right at the airport, right where it got dropped off, just sitting there. Food and water and everything else just sitting there under blue tarps. And a bunch of money and whatnot just kind of came up missing. Didn't really go where it's supposed to go. And there was a big protest right around this time when this was discovered against the governor. I think her name is Wanda Vasquez. If I'm wrong about her name, let me know in the comments below. But it was a big protest. Now, I'm not sure if she's still in office, but the actual issue with the aid not getting to where it's supposed to go is because of leadership. Now, AOC, getting back to her grandma, says that she has not seen her grandma in over a year because of the virus. But then when she was actually able to see how she was living and everything, it was deplorable because the aid did not come from Hurricane Maria, and she wants to put that on Trump's back. But here's a couple of things. If you want to improve your grandma's living conditions, surely you're able to give some money, AOC. I mean, I don't think AOC, being this big famous person, having all kind of connections in D.C. and abroad and on the island in Puerto Rico, which, by the way, is an American territory, so you don't have to actually get a passport or anything to go there. So for grandma wanting to come to New York or D.C., wherever AOC lives, and stay with her wouldn't be a problem, but I digress. Surely AOC has plenty of pull to fix that particular issue with our abuela, with our grandma. The aid from Trump or from the governor really shouldn't matter, right? Because you have the power to fix whatever's going on because you got that money. Your money goes a long way in Puerto Rico. Although it is an American territory, it's just like living in a different state. You living in San Francisco, your money's going to go a little bit less far than it would go if you lived in Mississippi or somewhere like that. Okay, different places, different costs of living in Puerto Rico. You got a lot of tax benefits. You can get things done there if you got that bread and you're Puerto Rican yourself. What's the problem? Okay. Now, that's the same thing. That's what I was saying. It's like, all right, AOC, you want to talk about, Trump had your grandma living in squalor. First of all, where's the furniture at? Okay, all I saw was a chair and what appears to be a mattress and no bed on it. I mean, did she move everything out? Where is she living now? I think that AOC said her grandma's fine now. So if her grandma's fine now and it looks like all the furniture moved out, then what are you talking about? Why would you even show this house? Is it even your grandma's house? Now, the Daily Wire tried to raise money for AOC's grandma. Now, I guess it's kind of trolly and also just proving that you can actually, solve some problems. But I wouldn't have done that because, like I said on Twitter, if AOC does not want to help her own grandma and wants to use her as a political prop, that's not my business. That's not my business. I'm going to just point it out. I'd be like, look, you got the money. Why don't you help your own grandma? You see, when I was younger and my grandma was sick, she would stay sometimes at dad's house, sometimes at my uncle's house and my dad's brother's house. And then I come in there And, I visit, I give some food, take her to doctor's appointments, and I have no money at all. I'm like, what, 25, 26, right around this time? So if I can do that, if my dad and my uncle can do that, they don't make AOC money. They didn't make AOC money. So why can't she do anything to help her grandma other than just cry? But getting back to the Daily Wire, they tried to raise some money, and they did, like $100,000 on GoFundMe. But then AOC's family rejected the money. They refused the money. Talking about, we got it under control. There's no problem. So all the money that was raised will go back to the donors, and they're going to shut off the whole GoFundMe. That was predictable. You see, I think that a lot of conservatives, we think that we can manipulate the media the same way the left manipulates the media, because AOC did a thing that was something like this, something like what the Daily Wire did. AOC and some other politicians that are not from Texas went down to Texas and raised a bunch of money for Texans after the whole ice storm that broke all the pipes and whatnot. I remember that. So they went down there, raised a bunch of money. The media showered them with praise. Oh, AOC did the job that Ted Cruz couldn't do, all this, that, and the third. But see, when the Daily Wire does it, when the conservatives do it, it's not the same way. You see, they play by a different set of rules. They have a different rule book for them. There's different things that they're able to do that we can't do. It's very simple. So we need to stop trying to play their game and just do what's right. Ain't no point in raising the money for AOC's grandma. AOC got the money. Point that out. That's what I said. It's like, look, if you want to use her as a political prop, that's your business. Talk about the facts. Talk about how Trump gave a bunch of money and resources to Puerto Rico, but the government in Puerto Rico didn't do a good job distributing it. Talk about all the food and whatnot that went to waste right there where it landed under blue tarps for weeks and months because it was not able to be distributed. Talk about how the government there is inefficient and corrupt. That should be the bigger problem. That should be the bigger focus. Not trying to talk about AOC's grandma and a thing that won't really go anywhere with the media. Talk about some real things. So even if the media doesn't really want to talk about it, even if they don't want to cover it, the people are going to see what's going on. That's why there was a big protest in Puerto Rico against the government for not distributing the aid as far as the money and the food and the water and things of that nature. The people are able to understand truth at a certain point. Okay, when you on an island and you starving and you hungry, you can't get from point A to point B because the government's not doing their job. That right there is more in your face rather than one person who has a very rich relative in the 48 states. But as I close, I want to say this. If AOC wants to use her grandma as a political prop, so what? That's her thing. What I'm going to do is say, hey, you got the money, you help, you do it. That should be how it is. And quite frankly, that's probably the best message for all Americans. Don't rely so much on the government and do things for yourself. If you see things aren't getting done properly, you go ahead and make it happen. You be the change that you want to see. All right, AOC was just trying to dunk on conservatives. And for her people, it may have worked. Some of us tried to do the same thing with her, and it really didn't. When we stay on the issues, we're able to attack them that way. And at the same time, we're able to help people. Now, the money could have gone to some charities in Puerto Rico or whatever, but that's not even what it's about. It's not about trying to actually get help or trying to fix certain things. It's all about just trying to play political games. And if you want to play political games, you got to play them correctly or else you're going to end up losing. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What do you think about what AOC did with her grandma? And what do you think about the response from the Daily Wire and other people? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I stand. AOC and all these other politicos, they're pretty shameful in their tactics. You let your own grandma suffer in squalor or make it appear like she is suffering in squalor just for some political points. It's pretty shameful, but nothing surprises me too much anymore in this political world. But I just hope that people on the right don't stoop down to her level and we just stay to what makes sense. Stay to what is truthful. That's all we got to do, really. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be some kind of dramatic overhaul in the voting practices from those that vote on the left to come and vote for the right. But as long as we stay on what's right at the end, in the end, we'll win. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.